Remember when they hate, didn't think we make it. Now they break their neck just to look at me. Remember when I called you, and you didn't fall through. Now you hit yourself and look at me, look at me. You made it.
And what up, what up, what up? What's good with y'all? Alright, so what are we getting into today? So today we're gonna be messing with the schwanks now. We got a couple things I want to get cleaned up. Y'all seen in the last video, we had a crazy drift event, had a blast, got to hang with all the homies, got some driving in, got to chill with, you know what I'm saying, the supporters and shit. Just overall a super good experience. No complaints about the track day, man. Everything was successful. But today we got a few things we've got to clean up. You guys seen that your boy did give the wall a little, you know what I'm saying, a little love tap, a little no diddy. But yeah, I did end up tapping the wall, man. What ended up happening was the whole day I was coming in hot, trying to get close to the wall, and as it got later in the day, stupid me should have knew better that it was gonna get slippier towards that wall area when everybody's trying to ride it, because now you have the marbling starting to come up from all the tires, dust starts settling right there, and it just gets real slippery. Came in at the same speed that I was coming in the whole day after taking a cool little break, and literally just dead slid right into the wall, pretty much unavoidable. Nothing I could have done with that, but yeah, at the end of the day, whatever, it's a drift car, I'm not really tripping. That's what it's built for. I really don't care. I ordered a new wheel. This wheel over here, one of these, you can see it, there you go, right there. That thing is cracked up like the old school Whitney. Oh, you're not gonna focus? You seriously gonna do this to me? Are you really gonna do this to me? You mother, there we go. Yeah, cracked up. So I got a replacement wheel for that. There's another event coming up, so I bought a bunch of tires that I need to get mounted and get ready for that event. So yeah, that's pretty much what we're doing today. Just getting things settled, cleaned up, and ready for today. So with that being said, let's open up the garage and let's get into the day. Got my boy White Aaron right here. What's cracking, bruh? So y'all can see a little damage. This is really it. I've already called one of those reflective for paint repair people, whatever it's called, to see if they can come pull this out right here. Try to get this a little cleaned up a little bit, maybe clean that up. So I already got the tail lights. As far as the bumper goes, I ain't gonna do nothing to this. I'm gonna just leave this how this is until I get ready to repaint the car anyway or something. So this could stay like this. I don't think my dashboard got shifted or anything. Don't look like it's pressing up on there. I think the bumper literally just split right here at the seam. So I don't think there's any, yeah, there's positive there's no major damage. You can see trunk still sits how it was. So it's literally this little booth and the wheel took the brunt of it. Other than that, we got all this tire chunk on here. Luckily for me, my boy Fat's got some stuff that literally takes all this stuff off. So yeah, should look brand new again-ish, kinda brand newish. And then the front bumper took some damage when I hit the wall, got pulled into the wall. So yeah, this got some scuffage. And then right here, the bumper split. No biggie. Oh yeah, and my splitter kind of came loose. So let me go in here, grab these other lights, get this broken shit off of here. Yeah, maybe I can get away with just replacing one of them. Hopefully the same color. All right, let's see if this is the same color. Shit, wrong light. This one kind of looks like it has a smoke tint on it. Yep. Oh my god, this camera won't focus. Come on. Well, y'all get the idea. I'm gonna have to swap both of them because this one is lighter. This one has like a darker tint to it, so both lights got to get swapped out. I don't know why the camera don't want to focus on the light. But yeah, one last look. Y'all see it with the boofage. Now let's get this light fixed. Bam. Brand new. For some reason, my online DMV stuff ain't working, so I gotta go all the way down to DMV right now and get the G35 and the registration renewed on the Mustang. So yeah, y'all know how that go, DMV. Y'all that's gonna be sitting there for at least 2 hours minimum. All right, so we back. I ended up getting done with DMV faster than what I thought I was gonna get done with. So yeah, I'm sorry, this video is all over the place, but y'all can see turbo coupe's not behind us. I decided to pull out the stangs and everything because I wanted to get a picture. So I figured while I had everything out, I would do a comparison on these two because it's something I get asked about a lot. So I figured this is the perfect time to kind of address it. That way we fill this video in. So a lot of you guys have been asking me a comparison between the two. Which one do I like better? The turbocharger, the supercharger, what's been done to suspension. So today I'm gonna give y'all a rundown and a direct comparison between the turbo coupe and the Mustang, aka the supercharged coupe. And just so I don't have to do this again in the future, I kind of want to make this as detailed as possible comparison as I can between the two. All right, so let's start with the turbo coupe. This is the coupe that I've had the longest. You guys know that I originally started with this car as a drift car. Well, it was gonna be my drift car, but this is my very first car. This is the first car I've ever owned. It's original 1990 CHP 25th year anniversary. Pop this up for the people that aren't familiar with it, you know what I'm saying? Show y'all the engine bay, and y'all can see the dog tags for confirmation. Dog tags are right up in there, so you know this thing is a real CHP. So this is a 306. This is one of those Ford Performance or Ford Racing crate motors that they used to offer back in the day at the dealerships. So this is one of those motors. This motor is about at least 17 years or so old as far as how long it's been in this car. My uncle originally did the swap. He blew the second gear on the car, and then the car just sat, and then that's when I ended up getting it from him. Now the car has another T5 in it. T5 has been living. This car currently makes 510 horsepower at the floor. Currently 14 pounds of boost. It has a stock block with a girdle and ARP hardware. Has a trick flow top end kit, which is the carb legal kit. So stage 1 cams, trick flow heads, trick flow intake manifold, BBK throttle body, on-3 turbo kit, but with most of the on-3 stuff being swapped out. So things that I swapped out from the on-3 kit, I added 2 wastegates to it, and also swapped to a tile blow-off valve on here. Other than that, this is pretty much a simple setup. It's 100% all bolt-on fuel system. It has a trick flow fuel setup, so trick flow fuel rails, dash 8 feed, dash 6 return, single raw bull 450 pump, all AN line all the way down. Yeah, so and then as far as the suspension goes, this car runs majority of the Maximum Motorsport catalog, has a stage 2 angle kit and field coilovers. And then you guys know that I am sponsored by NRG, so obviously we're going to be having, again, the door's locked, fail. So again, this car has all NRG stuff. You got the NRG steering wheel, NRG seats. The door panels are by LRB. LRB is one of my sponsors. Cool thing is I got to work with LRB on making the panels for the Fox bodies, man. This is something I was like trying to push to get done for you guys, and you know, LRB hit me and said they're ready to do it. So LRB panels came out phenomenal. Even have the upper deck lid for it. If you want to have your speakers, you can keep them. You can do the door panels with the speakers. This has a hydraulic handbrake, short shifter. Pretty much the basic stuff that you need for drifting. Like I said, this was originally gonna be my drift car, but due to it being my first car, original 25th year anniversary, I decided to just make this thing clean, keep it kind of original Ford stuff. That's why I didn't swap this to an LS or anything like that. I wanted to just keep it all Ford with this car, which was a good move because honestly I love this thing. Let's go over here to the supercharged coupe. One difference you guys will see immediately is the supercharged coupe is a lot wider. I ended up doing this wide body kit, had it all molded in. Then I did the full Cervini's Saline kit, Cobra style hood. So I wanted to do just a more modern version, I guess you could say. I never really seen anybody run the full kit with the wide body or anything like this, so I want to make this thing aggressive, obviously, to kind of be traditional to drift cars, being aggressive and you know, that whole style. Did the splitters on there. I had made these at Tap Plastics, just took measurements and took it over there, had them do that. And let's go over here and pop the hood on this one, because the power plants are different, same but different. So for the people that aren't familiar with this one, this is a 302. This is a 306, and this is a 302. Basically, this has been rebuilt, bored over slightly, whereas this is still stock bore, as far as I know. Not sure if this was modified or anything when I got the car, but it did have a cam in it. Cam's pretty choppy in here. Same thing, it has a trick flow intake manifold, but this car has the RPM performer heads. Vortec jumped on board, did a partnership with them on the Supercharger. This is their V3 setup. Did the big Bubba blow off valve, you know what I'm saying? The Big Dad with the trumpet. A lot of times you see these, they don't have intercoolers on them. Whereas on my setup, I opted in to do the intercooler setup. So you can see it has a crazy amount of piping running all over the place. But on the dyno, my tuner said that my air intake temps were a lot lower than any of the other Supercharged Fox bodies that he's done. Sorry, this thing is super dark in the shadow areas and he doesn't want to focus. Let me get this thing to focus. There we go. And then this thing has a big ass radiator in it. Honestly, I don't feel like this car cools any better than this car. I feel like this car actually cools better. This has the dual contour fans, whereas this has this big ass single, I want to say like 15 or 16 inch fan. You would think this would have more CFMs, but I haven't seen really a benefit in the cooling between the two cars. If I had to say anything, I would think driving around the turbo coupe runs cooler. So as far as the suspension goes, you guys can see that this car also has the Maximum Motorsport camber caster plates up top, which means this car also runs a full Maximum Motorsport catalog. This runs pretty much the same thing as this car, but the only difference is this car has a torque arm. They both have Maximum Motorsport lower control arms, front and rear. The turbo coupe has the Panhard bar with upper arms, and this car doesn't have upper arms. It actually has a torque arm instead. So we got a 4-link, and this is a 3-link setup. For drifting, a lot of people were saying that this wasn't gonna work. They thought it was gonna have too much grip because this car is honestly set up like a road racing car. But it actually worked out relatively well. When D rode with me in this car, he thought it was gonna have too much grip, and after he rode in my car, he went and put a torque arm on his car. So yeah, D swagger jacked me, you know what I'm saying, because D thought it was gonna have too much grip too, but it actually worked out super good. If you guys seen the drifting video of this car has a lot of forward bite, picks up momentum sideways, like it does relatively well. This car has a stage 3 angle kit, so this does have more angle than the turbo coupe. Only thing is, with the stage 3 kit, you do move your rack 2 inches forward. So you guys will see right here, we have this gap right here, and that's due to the wheel actually being pushed forward. And then you can see here, we had to cut the front bumper also. Front bumper, all that had to get trimmed because again, 2 inches forward. Far as power, this one makes 496 horsepower. I think it made 460 or 450 foot-pounds of torque. There's definitely a big difference on how these cars feel. Anybody that knows a centrifugal car, the power band is a lot more linear than what it feels like to be in a turbo car. So this car almost acts as like an amplified all motor car. The curve just climbs like this, smooth heel. Whereas a turbo car, you kind of got the weight, then it shoots up, and yeah, so I'm not sure what the torque numbers are on this car because we didn't have the torque reading hooked up on the dyno. But if I had to guess, I would say the turbo car is probably faster than the supercharged car. Even though there's only about a 15 horsepower difference, I feel like this car just pulls a lot harder up top, and it has the torque from the turbo, man. Centrifugals do not make more torque than turbos. Like if you want something that's gonna be torquey, you're either gonna go turbo or root style. Even though the centrifugals do make more torque than what you're gonna get all motor, you'll never see a centrifugal car make more torque than horsepower. That's just because the characteristics on how the centrifugal works. You make pretty much peak boost at peak RPM, so you won't see full boost until you hit red line. And that's why the power band's so linear, because it almost feels like a freight train. As you're higher in RPM, the car pulls faster and faster and faster, which keeps the torque numbers under the horsepower number. So I've never seen a centrifugal car that makes more torque than horsepower. Yeah, man, I think that's the full rundown. Again, sponsored by NRG, so Obviously, this is gonna have the whole NRG setup too, you know what I'm saying? Hydraulic handbrake, NRG seats, has an NRG steering wheel. Oh yeah, this also runs all the LRB panels. Both cars got brand new carpet and everything. This one has the smaller Holly dash, whereas this car has the jumbo dash. See, I can take a look. This dash literally covers the whole center. The whole thing is pretty much a screen. So this is their 12.5 inch. What?
I was looking at the colors.
Green just got back from a doctor's appointment. Grams?
What?
Why you just standing there?
Looking at the cars.
You've seen these cars plenty of times.
Not all these colors.
As far as braking, they both run Cobra brakes. This car actually has drums on the rear. I really like the way the drums worked when it came to locking up with the hydraulic handbrake. Only thing I don't like is it has a little bias in here to where you have to adjust it and move it around. It's cool when you're drifting because you can apply all the brake pressure to the front if you want to do left foot braking and stuff, but when it came to driving, if you didn't set it, then all your braking force would be in the front and it would want to lock it up, and it just got weird. So I'm probably gonna end up switching this to a dual caliper setup also. Like this guy right here, you can see, you know what I'm saying? Look, ooh, come on camera, focus. But yeah, this has dual caliper setup. Hydraulic is all independent. That way you can still hit the front brakes and the rear brakes at the same time if you wanted to. Usually when you have a hydraulic handbrake setup, if it's in line, anytime you hit the foot brake, you lose pressure to the hydraulic handbrake, or vice versa. If you're pulling the hydraulic handbrake, you don't have pressure to the front brake because they share the same line. But when you do dual caliper setups, you can still hit the front brake and you can pull the hydro at the same time. So that's one of the benefits of doing a hydraulic handbrake. That way it's just all independent. But yeah, man, for my people that wanted a direct comparison, a full breakdown, there you go. They're almost identical to each other. This one just has the torque arm and it's supercharged, whereas this one is turbo. This one has more angle, this one has less angle. Other than that, they're relatively super close. They both run Holley standalone ECUs. They're both tuned by the same tuner. They both have the similar fuel systems. This also runs a Dash 8, Dash 6 feed return setup, trick flow fuel rails on here also. I want to say both cars run 1000cc injectors. So the basics, man, super simple, and both cars are similar for all the people that want to know. This is just more of an extreme version of this car, because when I was first building this car, I actually had the wide body, the kit, and everything. Like everything you see on here was supposed to go on this car, but I didn't want to chop the car up, so I decided to get another one. Why does this thing look so... Alright, man, Jesus. I really hope the whole video didn't shoot like that. So over the weekend, we're doing the whole drift event and everything. I had other people holding the camera and somebody turned the camera on to manual focus. So that explains why the camera wasn't focusing and stuff. Yeah, hopefully this footage isn't all boofed up, man. That sucks. But yeah, bruh, whatever flew in my eye is still there. All right, man, I'm about to be pulling the turbo coupe back in. Yeah, we're almost off this house arrest. I know a lot of y'all are waiting for what's going on, man. Y'all can see it's still there. So almost approaching, man. Then we can get back to having some fun and actually mingling and doing stuff. Right now, I'm like, I gotta be hesitant on what I do. I gotta just, yeah. Let me go ahead, I'm gonna move the turbo coupe in. I guess while I'm moving this in, I can give you guys a sound comparison between the two, let y'all hear the turbo coupe, and then we'll start up the supercharged coupe, and you guys can hear that also. So yeah, let's do that before we end the video, because I know y'all would hate me if I just went through this whole comparison between the two and didn't give y'all no sound clips. So yeah, last thing. Close this up for y'all. Last little looky. Somebody was saying that I should paint my little rusty rod or whatever, but it gives a character, man. It gives a character. Hear that turbo winding down still? All right, since I don't need to move the Supercharged coupe, I'll just start it up, do a walk around, and let y'all hear this thing rev real quick. So for the turbo coupe, I left the cutouts closed. I didn't open the cutouts open, or I didn't open up the cutouts on the turbo coupe, just so y'all can hear a direct comparison of what the exhaust sound like. Just straight out, no cutouts open or nothing. So this is straight out, just nothing, no cutouts, nothing, just regular ass exhaust. So this car is a lot louder, so it still has long tubes and everything. So it's gonna sound like or be as loud as a naturally aspirated car. We all know turbo cars muffle down the exhaust note, but supercharged cars, they don't muffle down the exhaust note at all. So this thing's sitting here loud as hell. Probably to like 3,000 RPM, if that. So this car is a lot louder than a turbo coupe.